Hello and welcome to the EmilTech Show, a platform that is dedicated to showcasing, celebrating, and championing technological brilliance from every corner of Africa. I'm your host, Emily, and this is the EmilTech Show. In the EmilTech Show, we believe that Africa is coding the future. And if Africa is coding the future, Africa must tell its story. Today's conversation is not just a conversation. It is a conversation with the builder. Yeah, the builder of Buntu Labs Technologies. So ladies and gentlemen, sit down, relax as we bring you the story told in African style about Africa and the innovations of Africans. So without further ado, allow me invite our guests to have a conversation. So thank you very much, sir, and welcome to the EmilTech Show. We're really honored to have you here.
Yes.
Yeah, so you start by introducing yourself, and even before we go further now, we talk about the human side of you, the struggles before, the schooling, yeah? How was your journey back then? Thank you.
Awesome. First of all, Emily, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Most welcome.
So my name is Hamilton Conford. I'm a software engineer by profession, and the backstory of this runs to the 90s, the mid-90s. Growing up, I used to have both of my parents were teachers. Mm-hmm. So I grew around books and had a lot of passion.
You're privileged.
Not really. You can call it privilege. At least in our village, I was privileged, but not outside our village.
I understand.
So my dad had a radio cassette.
Yes.
But sometimes you bother him and you disintegrate it and reconnect it again. So that built my liking for mechanical things and electrical things, and his bicycle that he used to ride. So growing up, I think you try to admire what other people are doing.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the only person I'd admire was my dad and my mom. And they were both teachers. So.
Yeah, and actually teaching in the village is a thing.
Yes, and he was a revered man in our village, and he still is, I think, even after his passing. But anyway, what I was saying is, out of him, seeing him, repairing his radio cassette and everything, and even when he bought his first solar toolkit and everything, I developed interest in learning how these things work.
Oh, yeah.
So for a moment, I thought I'd get into the medical world, but I realized this other side of tech was very interesting. So when I got the opportunity to study software engineering, it was to me a dream come true. And out of that, then Hamilton was born, who is a software engineer, and eventually a founder of Buntu Labs Technologies, with two other co-founding brothers of mine, who are like high school friends. So
some of us do not even know.
it's good to keep these things.
But maybe we'll meet.
So that was how my life got into the tech world. And I think also I had very interesting classmates and roommates who we were in class with, actually, who helped a lot. He's a workaholic, and I used to admire how much passionate he is in tech and stuff, and so I used to just as he goes, so shall we go. And here we are. He's running his nice business somewhere. Perhaps you'll have a conversation with him someday.
Yes.
And then also Buntu Labs is here.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
Great. So before software engineering, did you have encounters with internet and computers?
Yes, my first encounter with the computer was just before I got into high school. My brother bought a Toshiba computer, Toshiba laptop. So that was my first encounter with computers. But he's a strict man, so I didn't have much time even touching it, but I would admire it from afar. And then in high school, especially those of us who lived a little away from towns. We just had French, business studies and agriculture, and computer studies was there, but I fell in a class where we were taught business and agriculture as the technicals. So I did my technicals, I did my business studies, which I excelled in actually. And then coming to getting into tech actually, software engineering was my fourth option.
What did you want to become?
An electrical and electronics engineer. But I think because of that time, we had a lot of intakes. So we were, I did my KCSE those years when tens of thousands would even get A planes and A minuses. So I think JQuad, so it's not wise to admit me. But I think I would have tried some other schools. Then, unfortunately, not unfortunately really, but fortunately, I got myself into a course that I had admired from before. And growing up, also, just to roll back a little, the first smartphone I saw was not a smartphone really, but a little better phone that would get into the internet was my dad's Motorola phone that I would use to, Google history with.
Motorola would get into internet?
There was a Motorola that would get into the internet around 2006 there.
That was an advanced one.
I don't know. It would cost an arm and leg during those days, but I don't know. He was a man of means, as it were, in those days. So he had one. So I used to read history with it and a few other things. And
he must have been a great father.
He was a good
keep him
gentleman.
in perfect peace, and we're really sorry for that. So what inspired you to become a builder? That is, after now the software engineering in school, what now inspired you to become a builder and not just a consumer of technology?
It has many dimensions, but I think one of the things was the fact that looking around, at least at that time, there were very little Africanized technology in the market, and we were being gagged with things that would not really fit the jigsaw puzzle.
So
in
basically,
the African
this
context.
is which year?
When I started building, that was around 2016, with my roommate. With my workaholic roommate, a very fine gentleman called Douglas. So that was at that time. And there were very little. I think those are the times when he would come. Actually, before he used to have a few slots at the previous location for I have had up there, and he had a team there that they would work with. Though I never got to join those groups. I always preferred personal learning, but even at that time, I think the internet was getting a little stabler, but things were not much, and African founders were very, very few, and it was a time when also even the fundings and everything that we see these days were a little minimal. So with that, we were getting a little puzzled on the trajectory that the tech ecosystem was taking, because yes, we were learning, but there was no clear direction of when and where we are now going to contextualize at least the technologies that we were using. And that informed the development that came in the subsequent years of my life.
Wow. Let's now talk about Buntu Labs Technologies. Now, every transformative company starts from a point of need, like something, maybe you saw a gap in the market that was often being ignored. That is maybe why you decided to create the Buntu Lab Technologies, So what was that defining moment? What made you feel Buntu Lab Technologies was necessary?
Anyway, well, I'm saying Buntu Labs came as an afterthought after a very funny breakup of mine. I just lost my consultancy job, and that so-called significant other also said, due to some other reasons, which I respected later on. Then I said, I'm not going to trouble myself with these interviews and everything. I'm looking for a job and I can craft something. And at that time, actually, this came in the first quarter of 2023. So the likes of these generative AI had just gotten into the market actively. People were using the ChatGPT and everything. The online writing business had a little clamped, and things were a little in a frenzy. And as someone who was doing the online writings and stuff,
you were?
Yeah. I said, I had to find a way of diversifying my risks, financial risks. Then I said, okay, I've always had a vision of building a business in tech. So I said, I think this is the right moment. And from that point in 2023, I think have not looked back. We have since done a few other things here and there that maybe some might know or worth mentioning out there.
So that time, you could have started so many other companies.
Yes.
Yeah, you're here. You want to start something of your own. Yeah. Why Buntu Labs Technologies?
Yeah, so Buntu Labs Technologies actually comes from, the word Ubuntu is derived from Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Yes, I am because we are, right? Yeah, so it came in twofold. One, because, I was reaching out to these childhood friends of mine to build something, to bring that oneness. Another thing is also to try and bring the togetherness of the beautifully fragmented African cultures together, because Africa is just about the 52 markets that we might know. If you are keen enough, you'll realize that almost each and every tribe is a unique market on its own in Africa, or within a country, and even regionally. Whatever is selling here in Nairobi would not be selling maybe in my rural home in Homa Bay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that, just to ensure that each and every part of at least Kenya, if we would not conquer Africa, would feel that the technology they are using understands their way of life, and bringing that togetherness of humanity and technology together. So we crafted the name Buntu Labs from the name Ubuntu.
Wow. So we will even invite your co-founders.
It would be lovely. It would be lovely.
Now, let me ask you. Starting a tech company in Africa is not like starting a tech company in Europe or Asia or those other Western countries. Yeah. So, what are some of the challenges that you faced here in Africa?
People always run to funding. But that would not be my number one. My number one would be infrastructure. I believe we are picking up, but previously we've been a little behind on our infrastructure development, especially something that can support serious tech. When you're talking about very serious, even AI labs, etc., they're countable across Africa. Of course, Kenya is doing fine, but then there are some other countries that totally don't have some things like that. The data centers are still missing completely in some other countries, or if at all they're there, very little. So that is one of the challenges. And with inadequate, or rather insufficient infrastructure and high demand, raises the cost of this infrastructure. So that was one. Another thing is regulations. Most of the tech development came so abruptly in Africa, and most of our governments and regulatory authorities had not planned to, find how they're going to roll out regulations to manage us in tech. And that has posed a challenge because each and every day you hear about a bill here, a bill there, about something that would, if implemented, would negatively impact the development that is happening in the African context.
Especially for startups.
Yes, especially for startups, because most of these, even the regulations that you put and very exorbitant fees to even get licensed and everything would not make sense.
Yeah.
And then the third now would come to funding. Everything needs finance to scale. I think that is why even in the Bible it says that money answers all things.
Yes.
So without it, there would be a challenge.
Yes.
But it would not be number one. I always believe that we can always start as small as possible.
Yeah.
And if you have a clear roadmap, you can always scale to or where you are. So that is why you define funding as number 3, 4, 5, whichever down the line, but not the main, the infrastructure and regulations that are perhaps, in my view, are still a very serious hindrance in our development in the technology sphere. Yeah.
So someone...